What does it mean to be smart? For generations we have been told a very specific story. We have been led to believe that intelligence is something you can measure with a single number. A test score, a grade point average, a percentile rank. This number, we were taught, would predict our future success. It would open doors to the best colleges and the most prestigious careers. But what if that story is incomplete? What if being smart is far more complex, more colorful, and more human than a simple number on a page? This limited view often overlooks the brilliant artist who can't solve a calculus problem, or the natural leader who struggled with standardized tests. It is time we challenge this narrow definition and explore a richer, more accurate picture of human potential. The truth is, intelligence is not a single monolithic entity. It is a mosaic of different abilities and talents. The psychologist Howard Gardner revolutionized our understanding with his theory of multiple intelligences. He proposed that there are at least 8 distinct ways to be smart, ranging from the mathematical to the musical, from the linguistic to the kinesthetic. Think of it like a toolkit. Some people have a powerful hammer, others a precise screwdriver. All tools are valuable, but for different tasks. This perspective validates the diverse skills we see in the world around us. The first is linguistic intelligence, the intelligence of words. This is the strength of writers, poets, journalists, and public speakers. They have a way with language, both written and spoken. They can argue, persuade, entertain, and instruct through words. Think of the student who can write a compelling research paper or deliver a persuasive speech in class. That is linguistic intelligence in action, a powerful tool for communication and expression. Next, we have logical mathematical intelligence, the intelligence of numbers and reasoning. This is the domain of scientists, mathematicians, computer programmers, and logicians. These individuals are skilled at deductive reasoning, pattern recognition, and abstract thinking. They see the world in terms of cause and effect, and they thrive on solving complex problems through logic. Spatial intelligence is the ability to think in 3 dimensions. It's the strength of architects, sailors, pilots, sculptors, and surgeons. They can visualize objects from different angles, navigate through physical space, and create stunning visual art. Closely related is bodily kinesthetic intelligence, the wisdom of the body. This is seen in athletes, dancers, craftspeople, and actors. Musical intelligence is the capacity to discern pitch, rhythm, timbre, and tone. This is the gift of composers, conductors, and musicians who can create, communicate, and understand meaning through sound. Naturalistic intelligence is the ability to recognize and categorize features of the environment. Biologists, botanists, and conservationists possess this intelligence, showing a deep sensitivity to the natural world. And crucially, we have the personal intelligences. Interpersonal intelligence, the ability to understand and interact effectively with others, and intrapersonal intelligence, the capacity to understand oneself. These last 2 form the very foundation of emotional intelligence. Now that you know about the 8 different types of intelligence, it's time for a moment of self-reflection.
Meditate for 1 minute of mindfulness to understand which intelligence drives you the most.
Which of these resonate most strongly with you? Think of this not as a test, but as an exploration. It's a chance to discover your innate strengths, your personal superpowers. You are likely not just one type of smart. Most of us are a unique blend of several intelligences, with 1 or 2 shining brighter than the others. Understanding your dominant intelligences can be incredibly empowering. It helps you understand why you excel in certain subjects and struggle in others. It can guide your choice of major, your study habits, and even your future career path. To begin this journey of discovery, think back on your life experiences, both inside and outside of school. What activities make you feel alive and engaged? When do you feel most competent and in the zone? Do you love debating ideas in your political science class? That's a sign of strong linguistic and interpersonal intelligence. Are you the person friends turn to for help assembling furniture or packing a car for a road trip? You might be leaning on your spatial intelligence. Do you find peace and clarity while hiking in the woods or tending to a garden? That could be your naturalistic intelligence at work. Your passions and hobbies are powerful clues to your cognitive strengths. Consider also how you prefer to learn and study. Do you remember information best after you've drawn a diagram or a mind map? That's a classic sign of a spatial learner. Do you need to talk through a concept with a study group to really grasp it? Your interpersonal intelligence is kicking in. There is no right or wrong way to learn. The key is to align your study methods with your natural intelligences. This makes learning less of a chore and more of an intuitive, effective process. Among Gardner's 8 intelligences, 2 stand out as especially critical for navigating the complexities of human life: interpersonal and intrapersonal intelligence. These 2 intelligences form the very bridge to what we now call emotional intelligence. They are the cognitive underpinnings of our ability to manage ourselves and our relationships. Think of them as the hardware on which the software of emotional intelligence runs. Without a fundamental capacity to look inward and outward, developing higher-level emotional skills becomes nearly impossible. Let's first look at intrapersonal intelligence. Gardner defined this as the capacity to understand oneself, to have an accurate model of your own strengths, weaknesses, desires, and fears. A student with strong intrapersonal intelligence knows when they are feeling overwhelmed by their workload. They can identify the specific source of their anxiety, perhaps a difficult exam or a conflict with a roommate. Now, let's turn to interpersonal intelligence. This is the ability to understand other people. It involves perceiving their moods, motivations, intentions, and desires. The student who can sense that a friend in their study group is struggling even if they haven't said anything is using interpersonal intelligence. This ability allows them to offer support, build stronger friendships, and collaborate more effectively on group projects. Emotional intelligence, therefore, takes these 2 cognitive capacities and puts them into action. It is the active, skillful application of interpersonal and intrapersonal knowledge. It's not enough to simply know you are feeling angry, which is intrapersonal intelligence. You must also be able to manage that anger constructively, or self-regulation. Emotional intelligence is the dynamic process of using self-knowledge and social awareness to make better decisions, build stronger bonds, and lead a more effective life. It is the essential skill that transforms raw intelligence into real-world success. To truly understand emotional intelligence, let's see how its 5 core components play out in the everyday life of a college student. These components are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Each one is a tool you can use to navigate challenges and thrive. Let's start with self-awareness, the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions. Imagine you've just received a disappointing grade on a midterm you studied hard for. The immediate feeling is a mix of anger and frustration. A self-aware student doesn't just stew in these feelings. They pause and think, I'm not just angry at the professor, I'm disappointed in myself and scared this will ruin my GPA. This clarity is the first step to figuring out a productive response. Next comes self-regulation, the ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and moods. It's about thinking before you act. After that disappointing grade, your first impulse might be to fire off an angry email to your professor or complain bitterly to your friends. A student practicing self-regulation takes a different path. They decide to wait 24 hours before doing anything. They go for a run to burn off the frustration. The next day, with a clear head, they calmly review their exam, identify where they went wrong, and schedule a respectful meeting with the professor to discuss how they can improve for the final. The third component is motivation, a passion for work that goes beyond money or status. It's the internal drive to pursue goals with energy and persistence. Picture this. You're halfway through the semester and the initial excitement has worn off. You have a massive research paper due in a month and procrastination is knocking at your door. A motivated student connects the paper to their larger goals. They remind themselves, this paper is a chance to dive deep into a topic I'm passionate about, and doing well will help me get into the graduate program I want. They break the large task into smaller, manageable steps, creating a schedule and rewarding themselves for hitting small milestones along the way. The fourth element is empathy, the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. Imagine your roommate seems withdrawn and quiet. They haven't been joining you for meals and seem irritable when you try to talk to them. An empathetic student doesn't just get annoyed or take it personally, they think, something must be going on. Maybe they're stressed about their classes or having trouble at home. They choose a quiet moment to say, hey, you seem a little down lately. Is everything okay? I'm here if you want to talk. This simple act of understanding can strengthen friendships and create a supportive living environment. Finally, we have social skills, which is proficiency in managing relationships and building networks. It's about finding common ground and building rapport. Say you're assigned to a group project with 3 other students you don't know. One member is dominating the conversation while another hasn't said a word. A student with strong social skills steps in to manage the dynamic. They might say, that's a great point, Alex. Let's hear what Sarah thinks about that idea. They help delegate tasks based on people's strengths, and ensure everyone feels heard and valued. This skill turns a potentially frustrating group project into a successful and even enjoyable collaboration, a skill essential for any future career. In the competitive world of higher education, it's easy to become obsessed with numbers. Your GPA, your test scores, your class rank. These metrics seem like the ultimate currency of success. While strong academic performance is certainly important, it is not the sole predictor of who will thrive in college and beyond. A growing body of research and countless real-world examples show that emotional intelligence is often the deciding factor. Your ability to manage stress, collaborate with others, and stay motivated during tough times can have a far greater impact on your well-being and long-term success than a perfect transcript. College is not just an academic challenge, it is an emotional and social one. Think about the daily realities of college life. You are juggling demanding coursework, navigating new social circles, living away from home for the first time, and making important decisions about your future. This environment is a pressure cooker for stress. A student with high EQ can handle this pressure more effectively. They can recognize when they are feeling overwhelmed, self-awareness, use healthy coping mechanisms like exercise or talking to a friend, self-regulation, and maintain their focus on their long-term goals, motivation. A student with low EQ, on the other hand, might crumble under the pressure, leading to burnout, poor academic performance, and mental health challenges. Your EQ is your internal shock absorber. This importance only grows when you enter the professional world. Employers are increasingly looking for candidates who possess strong soft skills, which are really just the skills of emotional intelligence. In a 2018 LinkedIn study, 92% of talent professionals reported that soft skills matter as much or more than hard skills. Why? Because in today's collaborative workplaces, your ability to work on a team, communicate effectively, and lead with empathy is paramount. A brilliant coder who cannot communicate with their team or take constructive feedback is less valuable than a good coder who is a fantastic collaborator. Your degree gets you the interview, but your EQ gets you the job and helps you succeed in it. As Travis Bradberry and Gene Greaves note in their book Emotional Intelligence 2.0, emotional intelligence is the something in each of us that is a bit intangible. It affects how we manage behavior, navigate social complexities, and make personal decisions that achieve positive results. This something is what allows you to build a strong network of mentors and peers, to lead a group project to success, to negotiate a conflict with a difficult professor, and to bounce back from failure with resilience. Your GPA reflects what you have learned from books. Your EQ reflects what you have learned about yourself and others. In the marathon of life, the latter is often the more powerful engine for success. The good news about emotional intelligence is that it is not a fixed trait. Unlike IQ, which remains relatively stable throughout life, your EQ is a flexible set of skills that can be learned and improved with practice. Think of it like building a muscle. You can't go to the gym once and expect to be strong. You need to engage in regular, consistent workouts. The same is true for your emotional intelligence. By incorporating small, intentional practices into your daily routine, you can strengthen your self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. These simple exercises don't require a lot of time, just a commitment to conscious effort. One of the most powerful tools for building self-awareness is journaling. At the end of each day, take just 5 or 10 minutes to write down what happened and, more importantly, how you felt about it. Don't just list events, explore your emotional reactions. When you felt stressed, what was the trigger? When you felt happy, what was the cause? This practice creates a space for reflection, helping you to recognize patterns in your emotional life. Another excellent practice is mindfulness. This can be as simple as taking 3 deep breaths before you enter a classroom, or spending a few minutes focusing on the sensation of your feet on the ground as you walk across campus. Mindfulness grounds you in the present moment, helping you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. To improve your self-regulation and empathy, focus on the art of active listening. The next time you're having a conversation with a friend, resist the urge to interrupt or plan what you're going to say next. Instead, put all your focus on them. Listen to their words, watch their body language, and try to understand the emotion behind what they are saying. Ask clarifying questions like, "So, it sounds like you felt really frustrated when that happened." This not only makes the other person feel heard and valued, but it also trains you to step outside of your own perspective and tune into the emotional state of others. This is empathy in its most practical form. Finally, you can build your social skills and empathy through real-world interaction. Step outside of your comfort zone, join a club or volunteer for a cause you care about. These activities force you to interact with new people and work toward a common goal. Embrace group projects rather than dreading them. See them as a laboratory for practicing your social skills. Pay attention to the group dynamic. Who is leading? Who is quiet? How can you help the group work together more effectively? Each of these interactions is an opportunity to practice reading social cues, communicating clearly, and building rapport. By consistently engaging in these small workouts, you will build a powerful emotional skill set that will serve you for a lifetime. We have journeyed through a new landscape of intelligence, moving beyond the old maps that told us grades and test scores were the only territories that mattered. We've seen that being smart comes in many forms, from the logic of a mathematician to the empathy of a good friend. You now understand the powerful connection between Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences and the practical skills of emotional intelligence. You have seen how self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills are not abstract concepts, but vital tools for navigating the real-world challenges of college life. The question is no longer if these skills matter. The only question that remains is what you will do with this knowledge. The path to success is not paved solely with academic achievements. It is built on a foundation of self-understanding and strong relationships. It is fortified by resilience in the face of failure and the motivation to persevere when things get tough. This is the promise of emotional intelligence. It is the missing curriculum in our education system, the set of skills that will ultimately determine your well-being and effectiveness more than any single course you will take. Your technical knowledge might become outdated, but your ability to understand yourself and connect with others will remain your most valuable asset throughout your entire life, in every career and every relationship. Therefore, I urge you not to let this be just another interesting article you read and forget. Make a conscious decision, starting today, to invest in your emotional intelligence. The smartest move you can make in your college career is to prioritize your EQ as much as you prioritize your GPA. Choose one small, actionable step from the previous section and commit to it for 1 week. Maybe you will start a 5-minute daily journal. Perhaps you will practice active listening in your next conversation with a roommate. Or maybe you will simply pause and take 3 deep breaths the next time you feel a wave of stress. The specific action is less important than the intention behind it. This is your call to action. Embrace the full spectrum of your intelligence. Recognize your unique blend of smarts and honor them. But more than that, commit to the daily practice of building your emotional awareness and skill. This is not a journey with a final destination, but a lifelong process of growth and self-discovery. By embarking on this path, you are not only setting yourself up for greater success in your studies and future career, but you are also investing in a more meaningful, connected, and fulfilling life. The power to shape that future is not in a textbook or a lecture hall. It is within you, waiting to be unlocked. Begin today.